treated to now the true power of Meliodas' master, and just as before, it is really a sign of great despair. For some reason, he is called the pacifier demon. No idea what that means. Or is it because he's so childish, or the fact that he shrinks people? Either way, Chandler is, for some strange reason, do not underestimate the seven deadly sins. I'm saying for strange reason because this is an arrogant man. I guess, though, in the end, even if, since his father acknowledges them now, and the fact that only he is the only Ten Commandment besides Estarosa left, then I assume even he would assume that the seven deadly sins are not just a random, ordinary rowdy gang. They are dangerous, and they were formed to defeat the Ten Commandments. The problem is, though, were they created to defeat the elite demons? Well, Chandler immediately, as expected, destroys the barrier that holds Elizabeth and Meliodas, revealing he also knows Absolute Cancel. Merlin tries to cast one magic spell. I don't have no idea why that would actually work. Her power level is inconsistent. But it turns out that Chandler also knows Full Counter. So he immediately uses that on her, and the magic ability on her, the Time Abyss, or infinite, get cancelled, and she somehow gets turned back into a little child. Apparently, according to an SBS, the Merlin was 30 when she stopped her time, so I have no idea how this little girl form of hers is her original form. Uh, I have no idea, actually. Well, I do not really know so much about Merlin. And Chandler surprisingly recognizes Merlin as the one who is Bellyuna's daughter. Well, whatever that past is, we don't know. Elsewhere, Diana managed to take Meliodas and Elizabeth outside from the place, but Chandler immediately flies out, revealing that Diana has a power level that is actually wrong. It says that she has a power level of 8,000. Isn't that a little bit too low? Or is it something else? Her king has 40, and it revealed that the Dolgother's return to power had 35,400,000 in power level. And apparently Chandler also recognizes the Dolgother as the one who withdrew from the Ten Commandments. And as the Dolgother has the memories of a different past now, he immediately recognizes who Chandler really is. The highest ranked demon who was the one who taught Meliodas to fight, and his true master. Still being obsessed about Meliodas and not at all taking the seven deadly sins serious, and especially the fact that for some reason Meliodas is the captain of all this. Sorry. Sorry. He mentions he's not exactly interested in that. All he's interested in is his young master Meliodas and the Elizabeth. Of course, the seven deadly sins being who they are, refuses. So Chandler gets a little bit more serious, uses a microscopic to shrink Diana into the size of a handheld doll. Oh yeah, and she's naked, much to King's nosebleed. Turns out also that Chandler's ability is so strong that he literally turned the day into night, and it affects Escanor too, as is now in his normalest and weakest of forms. Thereby, and even if he wasn't, he is still not exactly recovered, meaning that not even Escanor can enter this fray. It is also revealed that for some reason, night time increases the magic power of demons. Once again, something that has not been hinted at before. I mean, the vampire's magic power increased in nighttime, so I guess that should make sense. And they have the power of darkness, it's just that we haven't seen that before. Not that I'm complaining about that, I'm just saying other people will. So Chandler keeps showing his superb abilities by controlling the meteors and even summoning them from the sky to fall down on poor Mama Hawk, who does what she can to evade. However, the fight is not over yet, as the two former rivals, King and Gother, now truly friends, unite together, even with Hawk, who has eaten a flying a flying thing through his digestive system, and they decided to combine their powers using a fusion art celestial arrow. That is actually a thought. They do not have the power level to fight Chandler, but what if they combine their power levels into one? That is actually a very good idea, and a surprisingly one coming from King and Gother. The fact that is that Gother is gonna fire it with the bow while King is using his full uh, true form chestfold spear as the arrow. The question is though, is that gonna be enough to create an opening? Very likely not, seeing that despair is now currently winning here. All in all, a chapter, as I said before, full of despair. We see more on how obsessed Chandler is to get back his student. We see that Merlin has a original form that was a child, revealing apparently she may have been taking the path of youth very longer ago than we think. But now that her magic is cancelled, I just don't know what is that. Doesn't that mean that time will catch up to her? Either way, next chapter is called Making an Opening. So how will they do it? No idea. But team up is the way. That's the only way. And we still haven't seen a single side of Ban. Not that Ban will be do anything in this situation. I'm just saying. But if the Sins combine their power levels, then maybe there is a chance to fight off these absolute evils. All in all, just a quick action chapter. But you give me your thoughts if you have any.